Okay, so today slash yesterday, depending on how you look at it, for a guy who works nights like me, it can kind of blend together. Was my day off, and that means that I'm up late slash up early because I just kind of took a few naps throughout the day, some of which were longer than others. I'm gonna turn this light on. There we go. So I got a little more light, and that's how it tends to go with me, man. That's how I tend to roll lately. So I'm up at, for me, this is 8:30 in the morning, and I might try to sleep for a little bit after this, but I finished doing all my paperwork and I ate something, and I'm not really feeling sleepy yet. So I haven't been to sleep yet, although I have had, like I said, several naps throughout the day, so that's probably why. So probably I will take another nap after I'm done with this if I'm feeling drowsy enough by then, and uh, probably wake up in time to do some stuff, and then take yet another nap before I have to go to work, because that's just how I do. It's Da Vinci sleep. So today I have to open up for you is Mcfarlane's Superpowers Wonder Woman. Now, I've had this one, and I've been teasing these for a while. I had this one, and Nightwing, and Deathstroke. And I was happy to get all these, but just haven't gotten around to opening them for whatever reason. It's taken me so long to open these, they're actually on clearance at Walmart. Hi, Aunt June. How you doing today? So, so yeah, I've been sitting on these for a while, and maybe I should have like waited on buying them, since, like I said, they're on clearance now anyway. So it's not like I did the video any sooner because I bought the toys any sooner. So, but yeah, so here's the artwork on the package. It's some pretty nice artwork. I'm not sure who the artist is. It doesn't look familiar to me. It's definitely like the modern style of Wonder Woman as she's drawn in the comic books these days. Very Gal Gadot like. It's got that New 52 Wonder Woman logo, which I'm not too crazy about that particular logo, but it's not a bad logo. It's just not that good. So we got cross artwork on the back. I have most of these figures by this point. So we got Superman, Darkseid, Batman. This is supposed to be the Hush Batman. I actually have this one on the table here. We're going to do some comparisons. Green Lantern, that's Jon Stewart. The Flash, which is allegedly Barry Allen, but I'm using him as Wally West. And I'm using the original Superpowers Flash as Barry Allen. So this one's Wally in my collection, and the other one's Barry. Just so we got that straight. And then we got the Batman Who Laughs, a character that I have refused to buy so far, but I might buy him now that he's on clearance, because I saw 3D print files on cults3d.com where it was a conversion kit to turn the Batman Who Laughs into Merlin, the Green Arrow villain. So I thought that was kind of cool. Wonder Woman, the figure we're talking about today. And then we have Nightwing and Deathstroke, who are probably the next two episodes that I'm going to do coming up. And then we have the Batwing and the Supermobile. The vehicles, I think, are actually the best part of this line. I've said that before. We will... Already on Amazon, there's like another wave of figures, so I guess it's not a Walmart exclusive anymore. And there are also two more vehicles with Wonder Woman's Invisible Jet and a brand new Mcfarlane designed Batmobile, which I'm interested in, even though I have the vintage Superpowers Batmobile, and I love it. And I don't think I'm going to like the Mcfarlane one better. Going to FaceTime your mom at 9 a.m. Okay, cool. Yeah, she told me you usually do that around that time. So don't feel bad if you have to cut this short. I don't know how long this is going to be. I'll probably be done by 8. I'll probably be done by 9. Superpowers don't usually take that long. So yeah, we'll tell her I said hi. Okay. So So yeah, interesting thing about this figure is with most of these figures, I feel like they try to capture the feel of the old Superpowers line, and how successful they were is up to for debate. Like, they did Superman in the original Superpowers line, and this looks like they tried to at least make him look somewhat like that Superman, but it's clearly not that Superman. Uh, so honestly, the ones that I think work best are a lot of the characters where they're Bronze Age characters that look like they could have been made as superpowers figures and would actually fit in with the vintage line. That's why of the three of these, my favorite, just from looking at them in the package, is probably Deathstroke, because to me this looks legitimately like it could have been a superpowers that would have been on a shelf in the 80s. Yeah, I thought it was a regular thing. She'd mentioned it before. So, but yeah, so that's probably my favorite of these three. Now, this does look like what this Nightwing design would look like if it was in the Superpowers line in the 80s. But this isn't what Nightwing looked like in the 80s. This is what Nightwing looks like now. So if they did the 80s costume with the the disco collar and everything like that, I think that maybe that might have given Deathstroke a run for his money. But my thing about this Wonder Woman is that she doesn't particularly look like a superpowers figure. It's like I remember the Wonder Woman superpowers figure, and she didn't look anything like this. And yeah, this is supposed to be a modern design of the costume, but still, I kind of figure it should like this Batman figure looks pretty much like the superpowers Batman figure. Only obviously it's wearing like a Hush design costume instead of like the Bronze Age design Batman costume. So I kind of figured what they should have done, what I would have done if I was them, is I would have made Wonder Woman look like the superpowers Wonder Woman, just she's wearing a more modern costume. But that's not what they did here. But let's read the bio on the back real quick, and then I'll go ahead and open it up. Wonder Woman has come to represent the possibility and potential of a life without war, hate, or violence, and she is a beacon of hope to all who find themselves in need. She stands as an equal among the most powerful superheroes with a sense of purpose to protect the world from injustice in all forms. Well, that's all fine, well, and good, but it doesn't really tell me a lot about the character. It tells me a lot about how people see the character, and that's nice, but, what about, she came from Paradise Island and, took the identity of Diana Prince, and, what about her lasso of truth and all that kind of stuff, and, it would have been nice to mention the Invisible Jet, since they actually had an Invisible Jet toy on the way. Oh, well. It's not a bad bio. It's just like, to me, it doesn't really tell you a whole lot about the character, like you would expect a bio to. So that's kind of strange. All right, so let's go ahead and open her up. And I'm going to try my best to judge this figure on her own merits, as opposed to judging her as a superpowers figure. And then we'll talk about how she works as a superpowers figure. Because really, I want to see how she works with these other two heroes that I have here. Because it's the DC Trinity. We got to see how they fit together, right? So here she is out of the package. And I think actually I'm going to turn the ring light off, because I think then we might be able to see her a little better. I think that's kind of causing her to get washed out a little bit. And looking at her on the camera, I got to say that the gold on her breastplate is not quite coming across on camera, but it is actually a metallic gold. I want to say that. So anybody who's looking at it and thinks it looks kind of matte, it's actually not in real life matte. It is very like an Inca gold. Like if you go to the craft paint section and you find the one that says Inca gold, that's the color it is. And likewise, her bracelets look kind of not so shiny on the camera, but they are indeed silver bracelets. And she has blue star-spangled shorts, little white stars all over them. Now, if we look at the package, we can see that Wonder Woman on the package, she's got a skirt And that's what Wonder Woman, I believe, currently wears in the comics. She certainly was, like, up until at least the last few years. I think she still is. Uh, but McFarlane decided instead to go with shorts, which had me thinking that they were probably going to do her as a more classic style Wonder Woman on down the line. And I was right about that. They already do have out a classic style Wonder Woman that you can buy on Amazon right now. But they didn't go quite as far as I thought they would. They basically took this one and recolored her to be in like Bronze Age type colors. So she's got like a yellow breastplate, belt, and tiara, and she's got a blue cape, which Wonder Woman didn't really wear a cape in Bronze Age comics at all. So, like, really, she shouldn't have one. Like a classic style one shouldn't have one. And also, her hair is more like how they draw Wonder Woman in like a modern type of way, where see it's parted on the side, and usually Wonder Woman does not part her hair on the side, like in the Bronze Age, anyway. So, and in fact, the illustration they have on the package, like, it's kind of hard for me to tell if her hair is parted on the side. I think it is, but it's not that easy to tell in the picture. So these are to me what I consider to be classic Wonder Woman colors. It's very similar to what she had on the television series, and her having the shorts makes her a little more classic than having the skirt. But there are still some modern style elements to it and some Gal Gadot type elements to it. Like I said, the hair to me looks a little bit more like a modern Wonder Woman hairstyle. The tiara is certainly more the modern tiara style, even though it does have a 5-pointed star on it. It's it's all solid gold as opposed to having a red star. And she does have, it's very subtle, and I don't know if it's coming across on the camera at all, but she actually does have those kind of lines embossed into the breastplate, like like that Wonder Woman, like the movie Wonder Woman that I have the big fig of up there. So yeah, articulation seems to be pretty standard for superpower. It's got the arms that would be able to rotate all the way around, but the hair kind of gets in the way. So head turns from side to side, but doesn't turn from side to side all that far because the hair gets in the way. The legs can go up about that far. Hair does not get in the way of those, nor does it interfere with the knee articulation, because thankfully she's not Medusa. So that's the Marvel Medusa with the long hair, not the mythological Medusa with the snake hair. Although I did find 3D printing files to make an action figure of the Clash of the Titans version of Medusa, and I printed one of those out, and I think I might print out another one at a slightly larger size so she can fight Wonder Woman, because she's fought Wonder Woman before. So the cape theoretically should be removable. Let's see if we can take it off. It does have a clip on it like the other ones do, but it gets kind of stuck under her hair. I wonder if it's the same size clip as on the male figures. It seems like it's a little bit smaller, which makes sense because she's got a smaller neck. But honestly, like I kind of feel like it was more held on by the hair anyway. That even once I took the clip off of her neck, it was still kind of stuck up under her hair. And frankly, I think she looks better without the cape. Now, speaking of the capes, I will point out that this fabric is, while it's still that kind of shiny sort of fabric, like Superman and Batman have, it's also a lot softer and more pliable. So it's not quite as Christmas ribbony as, like, you can hear that, right? You can hear that, as opposed to Wonder Woman's. You hear the difference? It's much softer. So, and Batman's likewise is a much stiffer fabric than what Wonder Woman has. I kind of think Superman's is slightly stiffer than Batman's, although I could be mistaken about that. So I want to hold them all three next to each other. We'll put Wonder Woman in the middle, and that's what they all three look like next to each other. And I'm going to take her and Superman and stand them both back to back. And you can see that she's almost, but not quite as tall as Superman. So she is a little bit shorter than Superman, but not quite as short proportionally as the original superpowers Wonder Woman was to the original superpowers Superman, which, canonically, I believe, in terms of uh, the Bronze Age, I think that Superman was 6'4", and Wonder Woman was 5'10". You can double check that if you want, but I'm almost certain that was their heights in terms of the Bronze Age. Now, usually in modern comic books, Wonder Woman is shown as quite a bit taller. They take that Amazon thing a bit more literally than they did in the Golden Age. So it does make sense that a modern Wonder Woman figure would be, closer in height to what Superman is. And just for those of you who might be wondering, we'll go ahead and put her up against Batman too. But Batman and Superman are about the same height. In the original Superpowers line, they put very much a bit of effort into the scales of the figures. Like, I think that other than maybe Robin, I think Flash was the shortest of the male superheroes, and Hawkman was the tallest of the male superheroes. And if you check their heights in the Who's Who in the DC Universe series at the time, that you would find that would be the case, that Hawkman was the tallest of those characters, and Flash was the shortest. Flash had a more slight build, appropriate for a runner. Green Lantern's physique even seemed like it was more sculpted to look like the way that Gil Kane drew human anatomy, whereas the Superman looked more sort of like the way Kurt Swan would draw it, for example. And they all had that kind of look of Jose Luis Garcia Lopez as he drew those characters, because it was the 80s and he was drawing most of the merchandise of that time, and they wanted to stay consistent with that. So yeah, judging her by her own merits, I think this is a pretty good figure. But I don't know if she would fit in very well with. She fits in well enough with these modern superpowers figures. I'll put it that way. But with the vintage ones, I don't know how well she would fit in aesthetically. So as far as the vintage superpowers figures goes, you probably want to stick with the vintage Wonder Woman. With the newer series, I think Wonder Woman fits in just fine. But I think where she would really shine, I think where this Wonder Woman figure would look really good, and if I had some on hand, maybe I'll see if I've got some like over here. If maybe I've got some that I've brought over from my storage space, I'll put her next to some Total Justice figures. Remember the Total Justice line that Kenner did in the 90s? I think she would go beautifully with those. I think it's a modern enough style that I think it would fit into those, but it's not so modern that it would clash with those. I think she'd probably fit in better than the one that they actually made, that was a KB Toys exclusive with the Justice League of America line that came a little later. So yeah, this is a good figure. I recommend her. I actually think she looks better without the cape, so I'm going to leave the cape off of her. But I'm pretty happy with how this figure turned out. I'm looking forward to opening the other two of these, so that's probably going to be the next ones I open, and probably Nightwing will be the next one that I open, and then Deathstroke after. So I think, like I said, Deathstroke is probably the one I'm going to wind up liking the best, although I won't know for certain until I have them in hand, because I do like this Nightwing design, even though it's not a Bronze Age Nightwing design, which to me would have been ideal for this line. So to me, that's kind of a missed opportunity. But I understand why they would consider this one to be the more iconic and recognizable Nightwing design. So I don't really mind them going with that one so much. But Wonder Woman turned out okay. I'm pretty happy with Wonder Woman. She's not my favorite of this line, but I don't think she's the worst by a long shot. She's definitely better than Darkseid, and she's definitely better than the Batman Who Laughs. Jesus. I'm not sure which version of Batman I like less between the Robert Pattinson version and the Batman Who Laughs, but I kind of feel like if they made a movie where the Robert Pattinson version of the Batman became the Batman Who Laughs, I think I would like both versions. I would like that character better than than either version by itself, if that makes any sense. It would be appropriate to be if that version of Batman was the one that became the Batman Who Laughs. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this episode. Wonder Woman gets a kind of tacit recommend. If you want her to go with the newer figures, like I said, it's definitely a recommend. But if you're thinking about getting her to fit in with your old superpowers figures, forget about it. I think the regular Wonder Woman is probably still affordable enough. You can get one for a decent price loose. I could be wrong about that. I know superpowers have shot up in price a lot over the past few years, but I think Wonder Woman is still one of the more affordably priced ones. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this episode. If you liked it, please like and subscribe and all that fun YouTube stuff down below. If you want to catch these when I go live and participate in the chat, like my Aunt June did, you can hit that little bell and turn it to gray, and that will warn you whenever I'm going to go live. It's not an obligation. You don't have to feel like you have to go live. It's not necessary. Like, I don't really do these to be, live streams with chats and everything like that. I do it because it's easier for me this way. But I never mind participating in the chat, and I always like participating with people in the chat. So thank you again to Aunt June for stopping by. That was nice of you to do that. And we will talk to you all next time. Bye.